Your initial thoughts, Kevin, on that downside surprise?
Well, I think that it was a little bit below our expectation and the market expectation, but there were some special factors. I think one of the special factors that we were following closely that I've not seen a lot of people talk about is the impact of the flooding, which, shut down I-29, made it so that a whole bunch of the ports couldn't operate. And our estimate is that that knocked maybe about 40,000 jobs off the number. And if you add that back in, then, it's pretty much close to a normal up and down. For sure, there's a little bit of job slowing, but we're still looking at, I think, controlling for that. A 3-month average that's probably next month going to look in the 170, 180 range, which is about what we've had for the last 2 years.
Kevin, just in terms of the trade story and the damage that it may or may not be doing to certain industries right now, if you look at primary metals, steel, aluminum, metal fabricators, all down for a third straight month here. Many economists predicted this would happen, Kevin. Do you think that is a consequence, a result of the tariffs of this administration weighing on those sectors at the moment?
Well, I think that, for steel and aluminum, the tariffs definitely, have helped. And, I've looked at the numbers, and they inflected quite a bit when they went in. The thing about the jobs number, just to pivot, I've heard a lot of folks also talking about how, well, maybe the jobs number reflects, the trade problems. But remember that this is May, and so this jobs number comes before anything regarding Mexico. And also, the only thing that really happened in May was that the Chinese talks hit a roadblock. And so I think that it's hard to imagine that a roadblock of the Chinese talks could have a really big macroeconomic effect. And so I think that looking at the impact of trade on the numbers right now, for sure there are specific things and specific industries, but overall, I don't think it's a really big part of the story.
Kevin, certainly that persistent tension, though, is weighing on financial conditions. It's weighing on confidence, and it seems to be weighing on investment as well. There is quite a clear read-through. Are you saying there's not?
Well, I think that absolutely uncertainty, can be a negative for the economy, but there's upside risks and downside risks.
Sure.
And I think that with China, if we remember how happy markets tended to be every day that we got closer to a deal, if we at the G20 talks can finally, get that thing over the hump, that's a really big upside risk for the outlook this year.
We would all love to see that happen,
we're
Kevin.
we're shooting for reform, right? And I think that reform is uncertain. But I think that if you look at how broken our trade relationship with China was, that it makes sense for the president to prioritize reform.
And many economists would agree with you. It's an economic tool for a positive economic outcome. Mexico is very, very different. It's an economic tool for a political outcome. So talk to me about what is happening with talks and why you think progress is being made. What is it about these talks where the progress has been made, Kevin? What specifically?
Right. Well, the specifics are going to be presented to the president when he lands about 4:30 today, and then he's going to weigh all his options. But there have been ongoing talks throughout the week. Secretary Pompeo has been meeting with the foreign minister of Mexico, and my briefing on their talks have been that they've made a lot of progress, that a lot of the material things that our professionals have said that need to be done by Mexico to help us secure the border, that they're agreeing to do. I don't know if they're going to go all the way to what the president wants, but I'm sure the president will have some important evidence to weigh when he lands at the end of the day. In
the meantime, Kevin, have the Council of Economic Advisers modeled the impact of tariffs on the U.S. economy, tariffs on Mexico, and what it means for U.S. GDP?
Our job is to provide material advice to the president on all of his decisions, but unless we publish it, then we're not meant to talk about it. And so, I can't talk about what I presented to the president or not.
Well, you can talk to me about the kind of advice you're giving to the president and the kind of damage you think it would do to the U.S. economy. Do you think it could be positive for the U.S. economy?
I think that the crucial thing for the CEA chair is to advise the president, and to make that advice, be between them.
Oh, come on,
Kevin. And then when decisions are made, no, it's true. And then
Kevin,
when
if that was the case, you wouldn't be on TV.
You're not a loyal team player if you disagree with the decision.
Kevin, are you saying you disagree with the decision then?
No, that's what you're trying to.
No, I'm
say.
asking you. Did you disagree with the decision?
I think that the president's right to emphasize reform, and with Mexico, I think we have a border crisis. And if you weigh the costs of the border crisis, then it's very easy to think that the leverage that he's gained with Mexico could easily pass a cost-benefit test.
Did you disagree on the tariff decision?
Come on,
Kevin. Did you disagree on the tariff decision? Did you agree with him?
I'm not supposed to talk about my private conversations with the president. But
well, I'm not asking you about the private conversations with the president.
My job is to say, if you do this, let me talk about CEA.
Please carry on.
My job is to say, if you do this, here's what happens. If you do that, that's what happens.
But isn't your job also to inform us as you come on this program, to tell us what you also think about the damage that could be done from the tariffs? I mean, you don't have to reveal the private conversation with the president. Please tell me, in your assessment, do you think it could weigh on US GDP this year if these tariffs go into effect on Monday?
I think that the 5% tariff is a much worse problem for Mexico, as I've said in previous interviews this week, than it is for the U.S. But I think that, beyond that, we'll have to wait and see. I think Mexico is highly motivated because of that to make sure that that doesn't happen by helping us secure the border.
Kevin, many people think that you're stepping down because you do disagree with the president on the tariffs. Just put the record straight there for us. As you are on your way out, what are your thoughts? What actually happened?
Oh, I mean, what do you mean what actually happened? They're utterly separate things. The CEA chair is almost all you could go back and look, served for about 2 years. I've got a son who's about to be a senior in high school, is the youngest, and it's a good time to spend more time with my family. And it's also a normal circle of life for CEA to hand the slot off to somebody else after a couple of years.
We'd love to know what's coming next for you, Kevin. What is coming next? And have you spoken to the president?
Yeah, I really don't know yet, but thanks for asking. But I really haven't made any firm decisions.
What about a job at the Fed?
Steps.
Would you be interested in a job at the Fed, Kevin?
No, absolutely not. Absolutely not.
You can rule that one out.